Have you ever imagined the day that you woke up and your mother tongue was no longer existent in your country? Stop imagining because that's happening right now. Today, over 90% of African youths that live in urban centers cannot fluently express themselves in their mother tongues, and that is a big problem. These youths, especially below the age of 30, can only express themselves in foreign languages like English, French, Arabic, Spanish, Portuguese. These are the only languages they can fluently speak, but not their indigenous languages. Now, in this video, I want us to look at number one, why language really matters. Then we'll also focus on the alarming decline of African languages. We'll also look at the colonial problem. And what I wouldn't want you to miss out on is what must be done to save these African languages. So I'm gonna need you to strap yourself as we get into this. And of course, along the journey, if you happen to get value from this video, please like it so that YouTube can share it with more other Africans out there that are having this same problem. I don't know if you know this, but language is a big part of culture. If we have no language, definitely there is no culture. So for a culture to be preserved, definitely it must have its language go on from generation to generation. But today, I think that is dying out. And basically this means the African cultures are dying away with time. Because try and imagine this, if there is no language, definitely no communication can go on in that particular culture. Let's say if it's a particular tribe, it is the language that actually facilitates communication within that particular tribe or culture. So basically, when it comes to things like, let's say, social gatherings, or you cannot communicate if you do not know the language for that particular culture. It is through language that information and history can be passed down to the young generation, and also a very big part when it comes to one's identity. So try and imagine you, let's say from a particular African tribe, let's say you are a Zulu, but you cannot speak your language. So definitely when it comes to identity, you will not be able to identify very well with that particular tribe. Now, I got to learn this earlier in my life because when it came to things like farming, each tribe and culture has a particular way they actually handle their farming. And then when it comes to things like medicines, or what you would call herbs in today's world, basically these herbs are specific to specific cultures. So if you don't know how to speak the language, how exactly are you going to communicate these herbs to basically the people around you, to tell them that, you know what, this particular herb heals this particular disease, or this particular herb can help you overcome this particular problem. And when it also comes to spirituality, it is language that is always used, because when you look at all our forefathers, they used to go, let's say, under a particular tree and they prayed to the gods. So if you don't know your language, or if they didn't know the language to actually communicate to these gods too, definitely they wouldn't have gotten the answers that they wanted. So language is a very big part when it comes to culture. I don't know if you know this, but Africa is the most linguistically diverse continent on Earth. We basically have over 2,000 languages that are spoken on the continent. But guess what? For the most part, these languages are dying out. They're basically getting extinct because of foreign influence. When you look at most urban cities today in Africa, if you, let's say, went to Johannesburg, or if you went to Lilongwe, if you went to Kampala, if you went to Nairobi, if you went to Lagos, the kids or children in these cities cannot fluently express themselves in their native languages. Reason is they are highly influenced by these foreign languages, especially when it comes to English, when it comes to languages like Portuguese, Spanish, French, Arabic. These are the languages they can fluently express themselves in. And in my opinion, this is a big problem. I try and imagine in the next 50 years, how exactly is society going to be without the indigenous languages? So definitely something must be done about this. Now, the blame shouldn't just be put on these children because it is not entirely their problem. You must understand that today there are so many intermarriages, especially amongst or between cultures in Africa, that you find someone from a different culture marrying someone from another culture. I'll give you an example. My wife comes from a different culture from mine. So basically, her indigenous or mother tongue is different from mine. So we found ourselves basically using the English language to be able to communicate much better. And this basically meant that when we had children, obviously the first language they were speaking was the English language. But for me, when it came to my children, I basically made it a very intentional thing to basically teach them my language. Of course, this hasn't been an easy thing to do, but I keep trying. I keep doing my very best to always teach them about my language. And if you're a parent, I'm sure you can relate to this because it is not an easy thing to do, especially in our closed group of families that you find you are only you, then your wife, and maybe two of your children. So you fully communicating with this child in your language, it is kind of tough because even when they go to their schools, they talk to each other in the English language or any other foreign language. So you communicating and this child actually fully understanding their mother tongue, it's not one of those easy things to do. Let's also talk about the colonial problem. Now, long before colonialism, African societies or African communities used to thrive so well when it came to trade, when it came to education. It was all done in the local languages. But today, after colonialism, we basically have everything that is official being done in the foreign languages. I don't know which country that you are from. You can maybe go to the comments and let us know where you are coming from, because today I'm sure that you know that in your country there is what they call an official language. So basically that language, if you are to do anything official in the country, maybe transfer of property or maybe going to an office to get a particular social service, everything is done in that foreign language, which they call an official language. And this is the most worrying part, that when it comes to schools, children are even punished to actually not to speak their indigenous languages. So what basically ends up happening is that these children actually end up hating their own local languages. And this is so bad, especially for society. Now, in my opinion, I'm sure that if these children were actually instructed at school in their local languages, trust me, they would even thrive much better at school, simply because it would be a language that they would relate so well with, and it would be a language that they would understand very well. They would basically be able to excel in school simply because they will be taught in their indigenous languages. But guess what? The instruction is done in foreign languages, which hasn't helped at all. No wonder most of the African schools end up getting poor grades simply because the children don't understand what they are being told. Try and imagine different subjects, like let's say the science subjects, if those science subjects were actually instructed or basically taught in the local languages, I'm sure kids would perform highly. I would give you an example of Asian countries. When you go to a country like China, instruction is definitely done in Mandarin or in the Chinese language, and this enables these children perform so well, and basically they're able to invent new things each and every day simply because they fully understand what they are taught. But that's not the case in Africa. Now, of course, we've talked about all of that, but what must be done to save African languages? My very first take would come to the parents. You must speak to your children, speak to them in their mother tongue. Try and make the effort, just the way I told you earlier. You must make the effort. You must speak to your child in your mother tongue, because if we are to build a nation, it always starts from home. So you must talk to your child in your mother tongue. Do not think it is it is fashionable for you to speak a foreign language to them. Speak to them in their mother tongue. If you can do that, trust me, a lot will change. And maybe the other thing that has to be done is for the parents to always take their children to their villages, take them to your grandparents, let them go spend time with other children in these villages, because this will enable them learn their local languages. Hope this is very clear. Now, the second thing that has to be done is to reform the education system. In my opinion, children should be instructed or basically taught in their mother tongues. That alone is an advantage in itself. And then when it comes to punishments, like let's say you are going to get punished for speaking your mother tongue, those kinds of punishments should be removed. And then my third intervention on this would be to heavily invest in digital content. Now, of course, this takes up various forms. You could, let's say, talk about creating more and more podcasts to basically teach these young people about their culture, about their language, make them love their language. This is so key, especially if we want children to actually preserve, or if we would like to actually preserve our culture and languages for the future. These children must be taught, because remember, in the past, this used to be done around fireplaces, where basically the elderly would sit with the young children and basically teach them and talk to them using these fireplaces. But today, that's no longer there. Today, we can leverage social media, let's say, to teach these children exactly about their culture. You could think about creating movies that basically are intended to reach out to these children, or maybe developing apps that they can use on different gadgets, let's say on phones, on tablets. You could develop these apps to basically enable these children learn about their languages, because language is so key when it comes to nation building and basically building Africa for the next generation. And the fourth intervention that I believe has to be done is a mindset shift. People need to be taught to love their language. Africans should stop viewing their languages as inferior. That self-hate should stop. You need to love your language, because it is through the language that the next future or the next generation of leaders have to actually come from. Someone should be able to express themselves so well in their indigenous language. If you can do that so well, then definitely you'll be able to actually express yourself in any other foreign language. But the first thing always has to be you being able to express yourself in your mother tongue. Maybe even in schools, something like I need schools to put up a strict law that before a child actually goes to a school, or before they start school, they must know their mother tongue. That alone can change so much, can change greatly our society. Because if you don't respect your language and culture, there is definitely no way you're going to respect other people. Now, in the comments, please let me know, are you ready to fight for your own language? Please let me know in the comments, and maybe also let us know, what is your language and where are you watching this from? For more African educational content, I would suggest you check out this next video, where I even share much more about the African continent.